Kathy McAnally, and I'm coming to you from Bixby, Oklahoma. I have an Etsy shop called R&R Woven Treasures, and in this series called How She Made That, I am taking products out of my shop and showing you how I made them. We'll be looking at 3 different phases of the design process or of the production process. The first one is design, and the second one is actually weaving it, and then there's a finishing part of producing a product. And this particular video is going to be devoted to this lovely Art Deco pattern. Isn't that gorgeous? I like this one too. I'm a particular fan of Art Deco. Art Deco was very popular in the 1920s and even before that. And it came out of France, and this pattern comes out of a French book. And so it's over 100 years old. And also, a lot of the buildings, the downtown buildings in the oil boom of the 1920s were in that period here in Tulsa. So we have a good collection of Art Deco, as well as Miami, Florida. So stay tuned and watch and learn how we make this particular table runner and some placemats. Hi, let's look at the design phase and look at the pattern. The pattern is called a draft in weaving, and you can see that this pattern has a very simple threading. In other words, I thread each thread in a point twill. I just go up and then down. So when we come over here, our tie-up is different. On this pattern, you can see that the tie-up is not the pattern. And down here in the draft, you can see that it's not the standard lift plan. Normally, this pattern would be up here, and the lift plan would be simply a diagonal line. So they'd be switched. So this one's just switched. This particular pattern was donated to this database that I use called handweaving.net. Anybody can look at it, and you have to pay for an account to be able to download the drafts. It's a lot of fun just to look at, so don't hesitate to look at it. This author here is Therese Latshaw, and she donated it in this time period, and that's the number in the database of the pattern. Okay, let's take a look at this beautiful twill. This is a point twill, as we said before. It's really simple and really easy to weave. You can see it's quite fast. We have to use the floating salvage on the edge to make sure that the pattern goes all the way to the edge and keeps our edges nice and straight. But one thing I wanted to show you here and emphasize is the use of a blank space. Here we have a blank space where I've chosen to use white on white in the center, and then have the ends be this lovely teal color. And that is to make this teal color stand out, because if you had it all the teal color, then it may not stand out as much as if you have a white or a blank space along with your teal on the ends of the table runner. And this one is a placemat, so it's going to have that identical pattern with the white in the center where you put the plate, and then the teal here on the ends. And I think it's just going to be lovely. And as you see, it's a very quick weave. And we're going to talk about finishing. Now we've got the table runner here, and you can see that I went from the blue, the nice teal or turquoise blue, and I inserted just a hand-sewn line in this to give you some kind of delineation between the plain white on white and the plain blank space and the pattern itself. And I usually use about a third. So I'll put a third white space in the middle, and then a third on each end for a third of the total length of the runner on each end. You can also use a fourth. It just depends on what you like, but I like to use a third. And so when you make a smaller one, you just get a nicer one, and this one doesn't have the line through it. But isn't this pretty? It's a little lighter. It's more of a turquoise. That other one was more of a teal. Okay, and here is the one way that you can finish a placemat. Now, placemats are a little bit more tricky because you do want to have that reversible feature. And even in a table runner, this pattern is a nice reversible pattern. And you can see that anytime in weaving, you will have one thread on top and the other thread on the bottom. So if you can reverse the pattern, it just makes it really nice so that if you have an accident, and you get a stain, you just flip it over. And this is 100% cotton, so you can wash it in the washer. And it's already been washed. I send all these 100% cotton things out in the washer. I wash them here before I send them out. So it's already pre-shrunk. You're not going to have any major shrinkage. And I have a dog, might bark in a minute. But anyway, in this placemat, you can see that one of the things that I like is to have it reversible. And if you did a standard hem, you'd be able to see that hem on the other side, which some people don't mind. And so you can have it hemmed. This one has seam binding across it, so it's the same on both sides. So that's just one way of finishing it so that you don't have any difference between one side and the other. Here's another way to finish a placemat, and I kind of like this too. This particular pattern is not very intricate. It's pretty plain, pretty basic. And I took and top stitched this with some fabric on the back. Now inside is a palon. It's an iron-on palon, and that makes it, fairly thick. You can see that this is stiffer than the other one was, and I really like these. However, they are not reversible. You only have one side. So that's the downside of that one. The other one that I can do, let me reach back here and grab the third example, is one in which you finish it just like your table runner. Now, twisting the fringe is time intensive, so this is the most expensive way to have it finished. And you can see here that you've got all these twists and fringe, and that's the way we finish the table runners, but you may not want your placemat finished that way. And this to me is the correct side for this particular placemat. And I probably should have finished it with the stiffer backing like this one, because it really doesn't look as good on this side, I don't think, as it does on this one. So because this pattern seems to have a front side, I probably will redo this with a stiffer quilted backing. So you can see that there are a number of ways that you can finish your work, and it's so much fun. You get different looks with each different finishing technique. And with cotton, you always want to make sure that you wash it before you sew it, because it will shrink, and if you don't do that, you're going to end up with one material that has a different shrink rate than the other. And so the palon also, because it is iron-on, it's permanently affixed to the hand woven, so it helps hold it. So that's what we had to say about our placemats, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you back on another episode of how she made that. And don't forget, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps us as sole proprietors and small businesses like Etsy shops to get the word out and to tell people how fun and exciting and creative and how many different ways there are even to just finish a placemat. We all have all of the different design eyes, and nobody's hand-woven products are going to look exactly the same. So like and subscribe, and don't forget, look at my Etsy shop, because you'll be surprised what a hand weaver can do. That's R&R Woven Treasures on Etsy.com. Thank you.